Michigan Imam praises Hezbollah, radical Islam's threat to America. So, okay, we're going to watch the video soon, but this is very, very interesting. On January 8th, 2025, Imam Mohammad Ali Elahi of the Islamic House of Wisdom in Dearborn, Michigan, delivered a speech steeped in support for Hezbollah and its slain leader Hassan Nasrallah, declaring it a blessing to have been attached with Nasrallah and Lebanon's martyrs. Elahi, who has long been tied to the Iranian regime's influence network in the United States, exemplifies Tehran's propaganda machinery operating on U.S. soil. As the only identifiable member of the Ahlul Bayt World Assembly, which is a global organization dedicated to spreading Iranian ideological influence, okay, remember that he's the only American on this assembly. Elahi plays a pivotal role in disseminating pro-Iranian political narratives. Quote, Saeed Nasrallah and the people who sacrificed in Lebanon and Yemen are the real winners of 2024, he proclaimed, while denouncing Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as the real loser. Elahi's remarks mirrored Tehran's rhetoric, praying for the defeat of the criminal occupying Zionists and promising to sell his apartment to aid families in Lebanon. With his ties to high-level Iranian leaders and history of promoting Iran's ideological and political agenda, Elahi's public glorification of Hezbollah highlights the Iranian regime's deeply rooted soft power operations in the United States. So I wanted to talk about this because not only is this some Shia cope that we love to cultivate. We farm Shia cope for you guys, and we magnanimously come and present it to our audience. Not only that, which is one of our favorite hobbies, but this also gives me the opportunity to talk about Iranian influence networks in the United States and some of the reports I've been reading. So let us watch the video of this quote. Okay. And Armin, you're going to have to unmute this for me, please. And then I want you to dissect this Shia cope because it's just so good.
We are so blessed of knowing these people, being attached with these people, being honored that they are part of Lebanon, and all the shayateen say whatever they want. But as Sayyid and the people who sacrificed in Lebanon, in Yemen, to support the cause of Madlumin, the oppressed in Gaza, they were the real winners of 2024. They are the winners, the victorious. The other guys that continued their violence, viciousness, Netanyahu and others, they are the real losers. They are losers. خاسرون. إن حزب الشيطان هم الخاسرون. They are not going to be remembered with honor. They will be remembered as war criminals and as warmongers and insane people. Evil. So really, these people who showed that much faith, that much love, that much heart, they deserve every support. I even made a nadr that, inshallah, when things are settled in Lebanon, I have a little apartment in, back home. So I said, if I have to sell that and make a little house for somebody in south of Lebanon, I'm ready to do that. You did your job, our beloved martyrs. We send our salam and our salutation to you. Allahumma akhdhul a'da'ahum al-mujrimeen, al-mufsideen, al-sahayina, al-muhtallin. برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين على أرواح الشهداء وشفاء مرضاهم وجرحاهم ونصرة المجاهدين نقرأ سورة الحمد بعد الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد.
Okay.
Before we dissect this, I want to say that today I went and watched his whole sermon to make sure that it was not taking anything out of context, because that's important to me. Let me tell you, normally sometimes watching the full sermon can give me some juicy bits that I bring to you guys special exclusive, okay? This time it was a total waste of time. He was just talking about Bismillah and how different schools of thought say Bismillah. Waste of time, but I do it for you. Okay, Armin, let us unpack.
I just want you to look at the real world and look at what these people are saying. And you tell me if things were the opposite, what do you think these people will say? Okay. He says people like Trump and Netanyahu are the losers. Nasrallah are the winners. Okay. So let's look at what has happened and then compare to these people's coping mechanism, right? Imagine, so Nasrallah died being 6 feet underground, hiding in a hole, trying to stay alive, and still he wasn't able to stay alive. And you have just imagine you're a Muslim and you believe God controls the entire universe to the point that every single atom, every single electron, every single subatomic particle does what it does because Allah is actively willing it. So everything happens in Allah's will. And then you're on Nasrallah's side and the enemy is Trump. There's a bullet that is directed right at Trump to kill him. And in the very last second, Trump moves his head just a little bit and it just passes his head, injuring his ear, and doesn't kill him in the very last second, and he doesn't die. And that's your enemy. And Allah, again, everything under the control of Allah. And then your guy is hiding 6 feet underground in a bunker that is supposed to be missile proof. And then the missile finds him there and he gets killed. And then Trump is losing. And then you are the winners. Tell me this. If we change the position, would this guy come and says like we're the loser? Imagine if Trump, imagine if these guys, imagine if Hezbollah was bombing the United States, had that much power, and Trump, to stay alive, was hiding 6 feet underground to stay alive, and he still dies anyway. And then Nasrallah, like the Mossad was trying to kill Nasrallah, and then the bullet just misses him by a millimeter. And in very last second, he moves his head. Would these people come and say, oh, Trump was the winner here, we were the losers? Would these motherfuckers not come out here and say, oh my fucking God, this was a miracle. This is absolute proof that we are the winners and Allah is on our side? Would these people not say that?
You know, that's a good point. You would never say this about your enemies, bro.
The fact that no matter what happens, you die, you're the winner. You stay alive, you're the winner. Your enemy miraculously stays alive, they're the loser. Your enemy dies, you're the winner. The fact that the reality, the objective reality on the ground has no influence over your final analysis which is we are the winners. The fact the lack of influence on that conclusion shows that it doesn't really matter what happens. You are living in La La Land. You're living in a different reality, which is completely separate, divorced from the world that we are living in. That's what I mean, let's be real here. I don't know. This is some heavy cope. Heavy cope.
Yeah. No, it really is. I have to admit though, I find his Iranian accent quite relaxing. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay, so a lot of Iranians who speak good English, when they hear some Iranians speak with such heavy accent, they look down. Some Iranians look down upon other Iranians for not having perfect English.
That's true. Iranians are perfectionists about their English, in my experience.
They feel
the
like if
point-
you don't have perfect
yeah.
English, it's a show, it's a demonstration of lack of education, which is unfair, I think. I mean, you're trying, but again, so.
Yeah.
But I'm impacted by that. So, like, when he's talking, I kind of feel like, ew. But I don't know if that's fair.
I know that part of me, I found it a little bit relaxing, but I want to talk about like who this guy is and why this is a great excuse for us to talk about him. So one, he is part of an organization called the Islamic House of Wisdom in Dearborn, Michigan. And this is an organization that broke off from a different organization at some point. But he is, according to a CIA report, this man served as the head of the Iranian Navy's political ideological offense in 1982. And this allegation was reiterated in Congress. Elahi himself has addressed this allegation, but not denied it. Eventually, he went on to establish the Islamic House of Wisdom in Dearborn. And this is an Islamic center, which is the beneficiary of a nonprofit organization in the U.S. that it receives funding from the Iranian government, from the Islamic Republic. So his organization is funded by the Islamic Republic, or has been. He has long ties back to the Islamic Republic. Like I was talking about, he's the only identifiable American member of the Ahlul Bayt World Assembly. And he's been seen traveling to Iran to attend meetings of this assembly. This is an organization that is explicitly purposed with spreading the message of the Islamic Revolution around the world. So I fully believe this man to be an Iranian asset. As a demonstration of that. Yeah.
No asset to
you're
us.
right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Let's do a little examination here. Okay, wait, is this nice and zoomed in? Yeah, I think this is good enough.
Looks
this
like
is
it,
a
yeah.
part of a report about this is part of the most extensive report on Iranian soft power influence networks in the United States. And enhance. Here we see Elahi with none other than Zarif. I don't know if Armin wants to explain who he is. Who was recently speaking at Davos, and full of all sorts of apologia for the Islamic Republic. It's like, you can fuck off. And Rouhani. Oh, who is that? Oh, that's Rouhani right there. Now, let us go here and let me confirm which one. Yes. Enhance. Who is this over here? This is Khomeini. Okay. May he burn in hell. And boom.
Dude.
Who is this? This is
that
Imam
him?
Elahi. Yes. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Now.
Oh, wow.
Who do we have here? Oh, it's him with John Kerry. If people don't know, the Iranian American community hates John Kerry with a burning passion. That's a bit of a generalization. I'm sure some people don't care. But they hate John Kerry for his friendship with Javad Sharif. Oh, who do we have here? Oh, interesting.
What the hell? Oh.
It was Imam Elahi at with Vice President Kamala Harris at a vaccination mobilization event. Very, very interesting.
I mean, these are terrorist supporters. How are they have so much influence within the Democratic Party? I mean, they outright support terrorism against.
Yeah, this is a different imam, but again, with Obama, with John Kerry again. And you might be asking, like, how does this happen? How does this happen? It's because I think it's a lot of naivety and a lot of ignorance from the Democratic Party. They see a figure that has authority within the Muslim community, who is so willing to come and talk to them, and so willing to represent the Muslim community, and so willing to talk about how the Muslims support their message, blah, blah, blah. Not understanding that they are being used as useful idiots by Iranian soft power assets. Now, wait, I want to talk about that a little bit further. Let me find my notes. Part of the reason why they do this is because sometimes, especially these Shia figures, are so much better at doing this. The Shia figures in the US are very good at tricking Democrats and playing Democrats for a fool. Because what they do, this is part of the playbook. Ooh, this is part of the playbook, where they talk about how moderate Islam is and what is actually peaceful, and we're against the terrorism, and we're against the violence, and we're against the oppression, and actually we're for the oppressed and all this stuff. But what they're doing is wordplay that we don't understand, where they're actually trying to undermine Sunni Islam in favor of positing Shia Islam as a more valid, better faith. But we don't understand that. So they're like, oh my God, look, they're so moderate. They're so peaceful. They hate these terrorists. They hate these extremists, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you'll even be like,
oh my God, terrorists.
They hate Ibn Taymiyyah. They call him the original ISIS. Like, wow. And it's like, no. No. You don't understand. It's because they hate Sunni Islam. They played you. They played you.
They say you hate Al-Qaeda, we hate Al-Qaeda. You hate ISIS, we hate ISIS. But when they say terrorists, we're anti-terrorist, they mean Sunni, right? Because when Shia does terrorism, it's not terrorism, it's actually protecting the oppressed. When you see Islamic terrorism, that's Sunni terrorism. I had Imam Tawhidi, for example, trying to explain to us that Hussein, they're selling Hussein to us as an anti-terrorist figure, somebody who was basically fighting the oppressor. They're like, oh yeah, these Sunnis, like Ibn Taymiyyah, yeah, these are the Wahhabis. Oh yeah, evil terrorist activities. Who was standing against them? Hussein. Hussein was standing up against Yazid, and that's why Shia Islam is an anti-terrorist, which is fucking bullshit, because Hussein was the terrorist. Yazid, like his father, wanted to bring a government that was tolerant of all opinions according to their own, narratives. Yazid Hussein didn't go to war with Yazid because he wanted peace and stability. Hussein went to war to Yazid because he thought Yazid was not going to establish Islamic law. Yazid was going to be secular, more secular, like his father. So tell me, who's the terrorist? Yazid, who wanted to have a tolerant, secular regime and allow the Christians to live the way they want and for people to be able to sell wine if they want? Or Hussein, who rose up against the regime at that point to try to topple it? Hussein was the terrorist. Don't let the Shias sell Hussein to you as an anti-terrorist. Hussein was the terrorist. Repeat after me, Hussein was the terrorist.
Yazid was right. Hashtag Yazid was right.
Hashtag Yazid did nothing wrong.
Yazid did nothing wrong. Yeah, so this is one of those situations where, like I was saying earlier, when there was supposed to be this Shia imam who gave the benediction, a Muslim benediction at the Trump inauguration, and then it came out that he was actually a supporter of Hezbollah and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, like, can someone find me a Shia imam in the United States that doesn't support Hezbollah? Like, why is anyone surprised? Like, and actually, I would, if someone can find that for me, please tell me, because I'm actually very interested to know that. I actually am legitimately very interested to know that. But I don't know why anyone is surprised. I'm like, yeah, sounds about right. But anyway, so Elahi is like super notorious for his support for Hezbollah. promoting a lot of this in Dearborn. Now, what people need to understand about the Iranian soft power network within the United States is that there are certain hubs of this influence network with operating in America. And the most important hubs are in Dearborn, Michigan, and they are in Houston. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is it in those cities? That's very interesting. Those are not cities that have the largest populations of Iranians in the United States. You would find that in Southern California or in New York. What's going on there? Well, you'll be pointing out very clearly that there is a strong presence of Lebanese population in Dearborn, Michigan, and a strong presence of a Pakistani population in Houston. So the targets of the Iranian soft power network in the United States is not Iranians. It is Pakistanis and Lebanese, which is why this guy
Shia
exactly.
Pakistanis and Shia, yes.
Good. And we have a documented history of the Islamic Republic using schools within that they run. They have funded schools in Houston, for example. They've funded a faith center like this guy's faith center in Dearborn, Michigan, and using that as recruiting grounds for their operations. They have recruited Pakistani Americans into their operations by sending them to this other Islamic university that they operate. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. The Al Mustafa International University, which has been sanctioned by many governments, and we talked about how it got shut down by Germany, PayPal shut down funding to it in Germany recently, because they use Al Mustafa International University as a recruiting ground to find foreign assets that they train. They often train them overseas. Some of them have gone on to fight in foreign conflicts, or train them to be assets within their host countries, for intelligence gathering. So yeah, I want to clear that up. I don't know if a lot of people understand that. They're like,
Susie,
yeah, why are they constantly talking about Lebanon? Sorry, go ahead.
What can you explain to us? Why would a Shia mullah in the United States not go to where the Iranians are? Like, if, for example, one area where Iranians in the United States are a lot are in California, Southern California. Why would a Shia mullah, given that he's from the Islamic Republic and Iranian, not go in the United States and target the Iranian community, and instead go find the Pakistani Shia community and the Hezbollah sympathizing Lebanese community maybe in the United States? Why not go to your own fellow countrymen?
Well, there's two main reasons. One, and to be clear, there is some activity that does happen in Southern California. There's a really notorious guy operating in San Diego. Imam.
Yeah, by an average.
Yeah, but in terms of these hubs, it's like Houston and Dearborn is where it's at. In my mind, there are two main reasons for this. One is that a huge amount of the Iranians in America are the people that were made refugees by the Islamic Republic. They're Southern California is all Persian Jews, Iranian Jews, Baha'is, over huge numbers of Baha'is, Zoroastrians. They are people who are politically persecuted. A lot of
monarchists.
Monarchists, people who fled Iran because of the Islamic Republic. So they're not going to really be that popular. In my area, it's a huge
That's
number.
An understatement. That's an understatement. My understanding is that this person, if he goes to that crowd and tries to get a following there, he has to worry about his safety. That's what I think. I'm saying, it's not going to be that, oh, nobody is paying attention to me. In fact, it would be the opposite. If you go there and try this, you are going to get a lot of attention, but it's going to be negative attention, and your safety will they might actually crucify you. That's the way how I would describe it. But yeah, go on.
Well, okay, look, I don't know about all that. That's not my experience, but
that's my experience.
I do want to go back to Tehran. They had such good food. But basically the second reason that comes to my mind is the fact that the Islamic Revolution was never supposed to be about Iran as a nation to begin with. It was never about Iranians as a people. It was never about the many different ethnicities of Iran. It's explicitly anti-nationalistic, right? It's about a global struggle towards, creating the guardianship of the jurists to, keep this land for the Mahdi and all that stuff. So it makes more sense for them to help build the sympathies for their cause amongst different Shia populations all around the world. That's why they have like such strong support from Shia Pakistanis, which is why one thing that just came to my mind is when I remember in Vancouver, Canada, when a bunch of Shia Pakistanis were doing a procession, I think for Muharram, and that's a huge population of Iranians in Vancouver, and they went to go protest this event, like losing their mind, screaming at these people doing this Shia procession, cursing the regime, cursing Hussein, all this stuff. But the people doing the procession look so freaking confused because they're like Pakistani. They don't even understand what they're being screamed at in Farsi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, I noticed some Pakistanis that are not some Shias who are not Iranian, when they go do Shia ceremonies and then Iranians come and swear at them, a lot of them get confused because they were sold. Iran was sold to these people as Shia heaven or Shia central, so they're like, but we're with you. Why you're Iranian? We're fellow Shias. Why you hate us? So some of them I noticed they get confused. Yeah, but that confirms what I've been saying. If you tell me that there were a Shia ceremony somewhere in the UK, or in the United States or somewhere else in Europe, and there was a protest against them, I'm gonna bet like 9 times out of 10 that must have been an Iranian crowd that came out and again like 9 times out of 10 it must be an Iranian crowd, right?
Dude, one of these videos, what happened in Vancouver, I almost felt bad because it's like this like 8-year-old Pakistani kid just trying to carry his little banner down the street. And it's all these Iranians like cursing him. I'm like, this kid is just like,
well,
why are they so mad?
Yeah, well, it's not against the children. I mean, I remember when the first time I saw Ashura ceremonies in Vancouver, I have a video of that because it was not there before, and then I remember it happening for the first time, and I went there and I was like, what is happening? Like, this is like, is this Iran now? Like, this, I've never seen anything like that but then now it's the norm. But I remember when I first saw it, I was like, my jaw, I recorded it, I have the video of it. My jaw's like, what the hell? There's a Hussein thing. People are Husseining in Vancouver. Anyways.
So people need to understand that like a lot of these events that happen in Dearborn in particular is really an instance of Iranian soft power. Like about a year ago, there was that incident where there was a guy, Quds Day celebrations. You see Quds Day celebrations in Dearborn. You see them in Houston. That's obviously, Khomeiniist event. There was at one of these celebrations, the guy that went viral for calling for death to America and all this stuff. That specific guy is literally associated with one of these Islamic centers that does have obvious ties back to the regime. So I think it's just helpful for people to be aware of what's going on behind the scenes in these situations. Like, this is not happening organically, so to speak. Like, this is soft power interference. Someone wishing us Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. And an early Chinese Happy New Year, or Vietnamese Happy New Year to you guys.
Well, let's quickly do some of the comments that D had highlighted.
All right, this comment that D found. Maybe this guy can also be a winner. Jesus.
Oh, that's good. That is good. I love it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
This reminds me of when that guy on CNN, Ryan Gerdusky, made that joke to Mehdi Hassan, being like, "Oh, I hope your pager doesn't blow up," and the whole panel crumbled, calling Ryan Gerdusky racist and all this shit. And I'm like, if you know about Mehdi's what the consequences of his propaganda, the consequences of his narrative, what he supports, his history of what he supports, it's not a crazy comment to make. Let's be freaking honest here. This person saying for Shia idolaters, dying and losing your king is victory. Yes, I mean,
I just want to wish them success. Like guys, let's wish these Shias continued victory. Like it seems, guys, let's actually celebrate this. It seems like our goals are aligned. Okay, if this is what they want, they could consider victory, then we wish them continuous victory, as long as this is what they mean by victory.
If they keep winning, you know, ass over sword this much, they're not going to have an asshole left. Or they might have 5 more.
Oh yeah.
So let's go to the super chats. Gasian is saying, again, happy year of the wood serpent. They have sacrificed their legs so humanity may know good from evil. 66666. And Dave gave a super chat. Thank you, Dave, saying Muslims are fighting against Hindu nationalism, Zionism, white supremacy when they happen to be a minority. They must fight against Islamic terrorism. Wait, Muslims are fighting against Hindu nationalism, Zionism, white supremacy when they happen to be a minority. They must fight against Islamic terrorism. I don't understand this comment, to be honest.
When they happen to be a minority. So basically, I think Dan is saying that they're fighting against so many powers that they are not capable of fighting against because they're just so few. They're low in number and few in power, right? And if they knew what was best for them, they would be fighting against Islamic terrorism, because Islamic terrorism makes other people turn against Muslim. And what betters their condition is not for them to fight against all of these other things, is to better their own condition by reducing Islamic terrorism. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah. Dan also said Pakistanis are the most radicalized Muslims. Their loyalty is literally to Islam, not even Pakistan. I have seen Pakistanis. Don't use Pakis. That's like not a good word. Pakistanis claiming to have ruled Spain, Iran, and India. They also consider all Islamic conquests to be their own. What is hysterical to me is... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's interesting because even if you were an ethnic identity type of person, none of those conquests had anything to do with Pakistanis. It was like the Arabs did that. But go on.
Yeah. Oh, just Muslims claiming that they're going to retake Andalusia is like one of the funniest things in the world to me. It's my hobby, like farming that content. Dave also gave a super chat saying Pakistanis do not even consider themselves native to the land they live in. They think of themselves as world conquerors from Central Asia. Yeah, which is why they
but let's just be clear. We're talking about Islamist Pakistanis, okay? Not all Pakistanis. We have Pakistanis here that we love and support. You know, for example, we have Waqar here. Waqar in the chat. There's an ex-Muslim atheist.
Young atheist.
We have many Pakistanis. Yeah, young atheists, for example. Yeah, so there are many Pakistanis that we love and we adore, and they're part of our community. So
we're friends, our community. Haris Sultan, you know.
Haris Sultan, yes, exactly. Haris Sultan is our favorite Pakistani. But yeah, so we're talking about some many Pakistanis who have these issues, but let's just not use the word Pakistani as a way to generalize all of them. Right? Yes.
And then finally, before, because we're running a little short on time, there was this Muslim guy who was spewing anti-Indian slurs at you. Just some hilarious comments talking about the Shias, saying they are right. Ibn Taymiyyah is a terrorist. Armin and Ibn Taymiyyah are the same.
Is this a Shia? I think
he might be Shia.
Sounds like a Shia.
He took a pause from using Indian slurs against you to call you a terrorist.
Yeah. Okay, let me remove these stars. Okay, guys, do not forget to. Oh, but Mithra saying Susie's behind bars because of the your lighting. A lot of people were commenting on your lighting.
Well, what can I do with my lines?
I think you look. I think it looks cool. I like it. I don't know. Anyways, guys, that was the last news. Do not leave without liking the stream. I do not permit it. Actually, can I say that?
He clarified he's not Shia.
Okay, so what are you? Are you a Quranist? Are you a non? Just stupid then. I don't know. I think what kind of Muslim you are. I think maybe like a non-Shia, somebody who thinks he's a type of Muslim that is above the Sunni Shia divide. Like that. Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, I was right. Look at this, just Muslim. Right? He said that before. I was so right. Just Muslim. Yeah. Oh, I am.
People basically don't know Muslims.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do. And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.